Hey everyone, and well, welcome back to the first of hopefully many TwoKinds videos for my channel. I'm joined by Judah from Cookie Dragon Games, who took it on himself and his dev team to develop a TwoKinds online game. And honestly, I can't believe it. I would love to see an anime series eventually as well, but I think we all would. And with this here, we're going to hopefully do a bit of a Q&A, discuss the game, and see what potential it has for the future. And you want to say a few words, Judah, and introduce yourself a wee bit?
Yeah, so my name's Judah. I am the Cookie Dragon online a lot of places. I'm a game developer currently working on the indie MMO Two Kinds Online.
To be fair, from what I see so far, it does give me a bit of a Legend of Zelda vibe, like graphically. And I do quite like that.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is kind of like the inspiration right now for like the huge open world and the kind of cel shaded stylized art style. So yeah, there's a lot of Breath of the Wild in there.
That is pretty awesome. To be fair, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, you know what? For an early alpha, this is pretty damn stunning. It really was nice to see. It was actually slightly breathtaking. I was trying to play in Breath of the Wild there, but it didn't work out too well.
Oh, I've never finished it. I've completed like two of the main things in it, but then I just kind of fell off because I couldn't figure out how to get up the Fire Mountain.
See, I think I completed one part of it, then I just got sidetracked by side quests and just walked around killing stuff and arming it.
Oh, I did get the Master Sword. I collected enough life bars to get that, so. And then I stopped. I think it just stopped there.
Don't blame you. It's a bloody massive game. So with that there, time to get into the first wee set of questions. So what originally got you into the idea of creating an MMORPG for TwoKinds? Like, what was the original inspiration behind it? Was it the love for the comic, or was it the idea that this could be massive with how big TwoKinds has gotten with over 1 million viewers a month? Well, readers a month, the better way to put it. Didn't really say viewers because not a video yet.
So back in the day, I was reading TwoKinds. I loved the comic. There felt like there was more with the world maps that Tom's put out. It always feels like there was more to the world than what we just see in the comic. So it's like, hey, I wanna try making a game with this, and then one thing led to another. It's like, first it was gonna be a regular RPG, and it's like, oh, maybe I'll make it multiplayer online. Oh, it's gonna be an MMO now, open world. Let's make it big. So it just kind of progressed to like, I think I can do this. It's not gonna be easy, and then it's like, oh, this is actually gonna take a while. Well, I'll just keep working on it, I guess. And then that's where I'm at today.
Okay. So are you joined by many people out today, or is it just yourself and a couple of others really?
It's just a few others. We have a character modeler who joined relatively recently, who's been putting a lot of work in making the game characters look good. Unfortunately, though, he went off to boot camp about 3 months ago, so he's been missing for a while. But he's starting to pop back online in a bit, so that's good.
I'm guessing.
But other than yeah.
I was guessing he enlisted in the National Guard or
Marines actually.
In the Marines.
Yeah. So we'll probably need another character modeler at some point again. And then we have my friend, my coworker, I guess, Kaz. He handles some of the server code for us. I'm not the best at organizing for people, so I'm still working on that skill. That skill for myself on how to direct people to do things. So a lot of the work ends up falling on me, mainly because I'm kind of a poor manager, but I'm working on that. Especially as we try to scale, especially as we try to get more people on towards the end.
No, 100%. Like, it takes time and it takes a lot of, as you say, development. To be honest with you, it's something I hope would gain a lot of traction, to be very fair with you, especially since it's got such a big following. So I'm hoping Q&A and getting the name out there a wee bit, especially on my side of Discord. We've got quite a few. I don't know how people draw art. I've got graphics tablet personally speaking, but the most I can do with it is I copy this part, cut it out, and move it over. But we've got hopefully maybe on my Discord as well, I can maybe fish a few people's art. Come on, art to come.
Yeah, I'm not a. Yeah, I do bits of everything, but I'm definitely a better programmer than anything else. But back in middle school, high school, I tried drawing, so I at least have some of the basics. And then at some point, I picked up 3D modeling, so I could make a nice 3D sword. I can make a sword myself. But anything beyond that, like making a character or a person, is impossible for me.
To be fair, I'm the complete opposite. I could, if you give me a 3D model, I could slice it into 1,000 layers for my 3D printer. But you see, making the model, no, I'm useless. Not a chance. So, how long have you actually been in the game developing area? So, has it been a career choice right straight out of middle school, college, we would know as university over here, or was it something that suddenly came by as a passion from being in the gaming community?
So thinking back, I think when I was like age 10, I was like, I want to make games, but I didn't actually learn any of that until right about the end of high school. And then I went to college or university for computer science. So I have my degree in computer science, and so I've been making games all since the end of high school. It's been about 10 years now. And then I also work professionally as a regular software developer during the day.
Wow.
So I do a lot of software development, but game development is definitely the passion.
So you've got a pretty pedigree background then, when it comes to writing the code then and developing it.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, and I'm also so I do that during the day, and I'm also part of IGDA. It's the International Game Developers Association. I'm part of the local chapter here for San Diego, and I help run some events for other game developers. So I try to stay connected to the community.
Wow. This has to be one of the biggest questions coming up next. Who's your favorite character or waifu from TwoKinds?
Nora.
Biggest question. Nora.
Nora or Rennie. Yeah, I just like dragons.
Oh yeah, no.
I just like dragons a lot. But if you're talking about like some of the normal characters, I'd say probably Flora.
Flora's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Just too damn cute. How she's strong.
So cute.
Oh no, admittingly, to be honest with you, I actually quite like the tale of Laura, Keith Kaiser's original partner. It's quite a sad, heartbreaking one, but it just gives so much more development to his background, really, and how committed she was. I'm trying to word this so I don't spoil it for any new readers. But I would say it would be a tough one.
I hope whoever's watching this reads TwoKinds immediately, so that, because there might be spoilers up ahead.
Yeah, so do I.
Pause now, go read, catch up in a day or two, and then come back.
That'd be a good idea. I'm trying to be careful, but well, spoilers slip out.
Yeah, but Laura is a really good character too.
It really is.
She's just really good.
I also like the Will-O-the-Wisp that Tom done with her.
Oh yeah, Willow. Yeah, Willow. She's not even in the comic, and everybody just loves her.
It's just a wee face. It's just so his artwork is just outstanding.
I hope he does the side comic he said she was from.
That would be pretty cool, actually. On to the next wee background question. Do you have a favorite chapter or arc, or that's a very difficult one?
I would say the ending, the fighting part of the Basseton arc.
The Basseton?
Yeah, because that's kind of right about when I started reading it. Back when that arc was kind of new and finishing up, and so that's just it's kind of like nostalgia. It's like, oh, this was actually pretty cool. What was going on?
That's that's a good choice, actually. For me personally speaking, I quite liked it when my favorite arc's actually quite a more recent arc. I'm trying to think. I think it's chapter 16. I believe it starts in. Can't remember off the top of my head. There's 1,000 odd plus pages now. I should have reread it before I done this. I really should have. Really, just as a wee refresher. But for me, I just love seeing how his artwork develops from his youthful style right up as it matures into what he is now. And seeing the story as well maturing with him, which I quite like. I love the fact it's able to touch on sensitive topics as well and portray them as a normal life situation that everyone can relate to an extent. I think it's, for what it is, it really amazes me how Tom done it. It really does. I wish I was if I had an ounce of his creativity, I'd be in far better shape right now. I really would be. So on to the next wee one. So are you doing an in-house engine for developing it, or are you using engines such as open source like Unreal Engine, Unity? I can't think of others off the top of my head.
So we are using Unity right now.
Unity?
Unity, with a networking platform called Spatial OS. So that that handles like the lower layer and the hosting of the game server.
Yeah.
And then Unity is the web client, physics processing, etc. That handles the game world, game state.
So have you found any issues with Unity, or have you found the development with Unity to be pretty smooth in regards to...
I've been using Unity for such a long time. It's got its quirks, that's for sure. I would say though, it's not really a limiting factor. I think my biggest gripe with Unity is that there's so many ways to do a thing with Unity.
Yeah.
If you're not doing some of that engineer work beforehand, you end up with a big mess of code, a big ball, a ball of spaghetti. So it's just, you got to be more careful with Unity if you're building something big.
That's something, to be very fair, spaghetti code is a term I'm quite used to because of War Thunder. I'm very used to that term of me slabbering to developers about spaghetti code. I keep referring the fact that I'm pretty sure sleeping monkeys could write better code. War Thunder code amazes me at times. It truly does. Things happen in that game, such as flying tanks. A tank will magically fly through the air, and you're sitting wondering, the fuck? Wait,
so is it a physics issue, or is it literally flying?
It literally flies. It just like, the players don't know what's happening. It just lifts off the ground and just flies away, and we're like, okay.
That could be any number of things. That could be plain code shared with the tank code. It could be networking issues. It could be some really... That actually sounds like a fun bug.
Oh,
really.
When you get it, it's hilarious.
If you can control it.
Sadly, you can't control it. It just sends you off in a random direction.
Aww.
But you just laugh when you get it. The issue with Gaijin is they refuse to strip the game patches right back and fix the core code. So they pretty much put a sticky plaster over everything. And when they patch the game, it strips all the old plasters off and all the bugs come back again.
Well, unfortunately... okay, what do they have now? When I first played it, they only had the planes.
Yep.
And now they have tanks. And did I see that they have like ground combat too?
They've got tanks, helicopters, warships.
Oh, warships too, yeah.
Everything now, really. Even helicopters.
Yeah, so pretty much they've been working on so many new features, and they gotta spend time on fixing some of those core deep issues instead of slapping band-aids on it. But...
At least we're getting a bit off topic there, but I always complain about TwoKinds. Even when I talk about everything and other things, War Thunder's always something that comes back to me to complain about to people. But
fair.
With that there, how are you finding the team's morale on the project? Are you finding that they're developing it quite well, working well together, or are you finding that the bit of pressure every so often comes up to meet the deadlines that you're hoping to meet? Or
we're doing good. We don't really... want to like push the pace so much that people burn out. So it's just kind of like we're getting things done, and we're moving along. We're doing it slow and steady. But yeah, other than losing the character artist to the Marines, morale seems good.
That's good to hear. So are you hoping to tie in any of the story of TwoKinds to the game? So like any of the arcs or potential arcs to it? Like we've
originally I was not planning to. I wanted to do the game that is a time, pretty much the time before the comics, and reenact some of the wars. That there's some other bits of lore that has dropped too. Like there's a place on the map, I think it's like Wolf Watch Tower, that is X'd out because it's been destroyed in the past. So their plan is to build it up and then have like a big world event at some point that will destroy it. But people like the comic story. So right now the plan is to kind of have the game time era kind of be a amorphous thing. So you'll see like Trace and Nora at some point, and since you're making your own character, you won't be them, but I still want you to be able to experience some of the story bits. So I might throw you into an instanced thing to reenact like the Basseton fights as like one of the characters.
Oh. I actually like that idea. I do like that. Actually does sound pretty interesting actually. That was a very good answer. I like that there. It's the same
or was it chapter 6 when they fought spoilers. Chapter 6 when they fought Ephemeral. What's her name? Neutral, the neutral mask.
Yes, Imperial. Or how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I want you to be able to experience that at some point. So like some sort of instanced fight where you can be maybe your own character fighting along, or you can play as Trace or Keith or something.
One thing that would unlock a lot of, especially for backstories, you could do the fall of Eversummer, Trace's hometown, because I know it was destroyed by, I can't remember what Kydron clan it was, or Kydron. I'm probably pronounced that horribly, but it would be interesting to see. You could do an instance like that there, where you see him as a young Templar and seeing his homeland burn, really, as either him trying to flee it when he was younger, or just to get, because I know in the comic we touch on Trace's backstory a wee bit, but it's left quite ambiguous to how he actually brutally became as the Grand Templar. We know a bit about, I'm trying to explain, you know what, I'm just going to say it. Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers.
Please, if you haven't read it, please read the comic, or you're going to hate me for spoiling this part because it's very good. With Trace's overthrow of the previous Grand Templar, that's pretty much really the only thing you know about his backstory and how he enjoyed hunting Kydron down. Really, you never see any of the the bit of politics behind the scene or him commanding the situations. Really, it's just he was a really evil bastard.
Yeah, he was.
He really was. You don't see any of the. It would give a bit more in depth to his backstory. Like I know they're trying to leave it ambiguous as possible to build suspense about him becoming more evil again, as you can see in the later chapters with his hand turning black from dark magic. It'd be interesting just to touch on it, or have a couple of situations where maybe it just gives a bit more of the backstory to him. So I think that would be something you would have to speak to Tom about, like try and link it in with the comic.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to create new lore, but I would be able to explore side lore, like stuff that's only been mentioned. And it's like, okay, here's our take on it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Like I love all the art that's being done on Patreon right now. Like, oh, here's the Fey Dragon.
Oh, that was an outstanding image. Like that.
That was great, yeah.
It really was. And another one I was quite impartial to was the Chimera thing, where Laura's trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, I thought I had me in stitches, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And one system that I quite am intrigued by is a legacy system that you have in game. So one death for that character, then you have to create it. Obviously, it'll be either the aunt, the son, the brother of that character.
Yeah.
With that there, would there be an idea of maybe adding like a family tree or a marriage system to the game like in other games? So, for example, you've got a good friend, and obviously they have a female character or a male character or whoever they wish to design their character to be.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, a bit of skill sharing to an extent of passing down the legacy. Essentially, with the advent as well of, I'm trying to think of the. I don't think they've said it in lore yet, of the island nation that all races live in peace. I'm trying to think of its name.
Linol.
Linol, yes.
That's where they're trying to get to.
Yeah. Don't remember its name off the top of my head. Maybe if it's like an endgame location or a possible location to get to, depending on obviously campaign and how your reputation is in game. As I'm guessing there probably will be a reputation system as it is an MMO. Essentially, because we know, obviously, spoiler ahead here as well, we obviously know with Infernal's messing with genetics that it's possible for Kedron to have children with humans and vice versa to an extent, especially which can be seen with Urcher and the female Grand Templar. Can't remember the female Grand Templar's name for life of me either.
No idea.
Yep. Essentially, would the idea being once you get to that area or territory, potentially moving on to like allow mixed race marriages. I don't even know how you would do a mixed race legacy, admittingly, because we haven't seen what Tom's doing yet.
I don't know either.
I don't know if it's going to be a human with tiger fur or human with cat ears or vice versa. We don't know yet. Well, we've got a rough idea from the half-kinds.
It's the world's first cat girl.
Exactly. I think there was a half-kinds comic. I'm pretty sure he done half-kinds at one point as a side story. And depending on the territory, would it have like repercussions, such as in human lands, humans obviously in the comic despise Kedron, vice versa? Would it like affect your reputation? Would you say there'd be a potential for development? This would be long term, like really long term goals, or begin to get into more complicated systems?
So back up to what the legacy system is going to be. So lore-wise in the game, lore-wise for the comic and the game, it makes no sense that players would be immortal. Like in video games, you gotta marry the player. In online games, characters die. Is that a true death? How is that explained lore-wise? And usually games just brush it off. So trying to kind of marry that with the lore, it's like, no, your character's not actually coming back alive. It's a relative or a relation of your previous character. So whenever your character does die, you'll be able to like re-roll your character's look. And so tied with that, yes, we wanna do a marriage system. Because that's really common in MMOs anyways. And then I want to make like a family tree. It's like, okay, because you can change your character's look, style, and everything. You can hold on, lose my train of thought. Come back. Okay. Because you can change your style, your name. I do want to build that like family tree lineage, so you can see like all your previous character names and kind of who they were, and maybe if you changed your titles on your character, you can see like they did this, they did that, but we're not tracking that just yet. And as for like mixed race stuff, because Bassetins can't use magic, once you select your character's race, you're kind of locked in, because otherwise we would have to do a bunch of like, can you theoretically use a skill or not? No, yes. We don't. There's like certain skills that only humans can use, Bassetins can use, and Kedron use. and trying to mix those around with like the different, like if you did end up marrying a human and Cadron, like what would the race be? So whatever your character's lineage will be, it'll be still the same race.
Yeah, that's
So
fair. Yeah, no, I was thinking that would end up getting a bit complicated with coding, especially well because the game is such early development as well.
yeah.
But I thought it would be an interesting proposal or prospect to look at. Also, are you planning on sticking to the webcomics lore, like magic types as much as possible?
We're gonna try.
We're gonna try.
Yeah, we're gonna try, but there's also like certain liberties we're gonna have to take for it being a game. So one of the biggest things that we're gonna try to do that's probably gonna be hard is we are gonna limit Bassetins will not be able to use magic. So we'll have to, but instead they'll get different like martial combat skills. So it's like figuring out how to balance magicless players versus Cadron, which we won't have a normal mana pool. It'll be how many crystals you're carrying.
Yeah.
Mana crystals you're carrying is your mana pool. And once that's depleted, you have to spend time at some point recharging your mana crystals. So it's not like it'll auto fill.
Yeah.
And then finally, humans, which are going to be also completely different. Humans, if I'm remembering the lore right, they can't use the mana directly from a mana crystal. They essentially have a bit of mana stored in their body that they use, and then they can recharge naturally, or they can pull it out from like a mana crystal.
Yeah.
So it's like balance, like just and from a design standpoint, that's pretty complicated. You're having two different ways that mana is pulled and stored for casting magic. So
it's a big balancing issue. It's like balancing hours would be crazy to do. It really would be. But if there's will, there's a way somehow. Admittingly, you answered my follow-up question as well, so perfect.
Oh, good.
So, with that there, do you plan on maybe having like a reputation system in game? So like human NPCs having this xenophobia towards other races when they come into human territory, or Kedron races being more friendly towards other Kedron clans over maybe human coming into their village, or like the Bassetins being completely stay away. We're like go away. Bye everyone.
Yeah,
leave us alone.
I think so. So I don't think we're gonna go so extreme that, like, if you're Cajun in the human areas, you're just gonna be completely shut it out of everything. Maybe we do lock down the Bassetin Islands till they'll do like a reputation quest to be allowed entry or something. But I don't think we want to limit it that much. Mainly because it's not like it's Horde versus Alliant. It's not like they're completely warring with each other.
Yeah.
But we do want a reputation system so that, like, maybe with the Bassetins, everyone but a Bassetin starts out with a cold relationship, and as your rep goes up, the NPCs are friendlier with you or something.
Yeah, it's a bit like in most games at the minute, where more quests you do, the better rewards and better deals you get with them, really.
Yeah.
And on to the next one as well, onto the reputation system as an idea. Will there be like a territorial war style thing, like a bit of PvP to an example, like you were mentioning about Wolfguard Tower being destroyed?
Mm-hmm.
Would you think of the idea of, so say for example, Templars and Snow Wolves, or Templars, Tiger Kedron, or Wolf. So essentially a bit of a PvP. They expand the border territories into either human territory or Kedron territory, and every so often have it reset or fight for PvP control of it. Say for example, if you control this area, you get slightly cheaper mana crystals or slightly cheaper weapons or materials from it because it dominates an area. Or essentially, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. bit of a cost benefit system really. So if you invade this castle with your faction, you might get the benefit of cheaper materials or cheaper weapons for X amount of time before the castle is up for grabs again under for player versus player combat. Just to add a bit of dynamic changes to the territories, really.
Yeah, I want some PvP for that. Like I said, with the tower, just doing the big world event where you destroy it or protect it, depending on who you are. But yeah, that kind of like the pushing the territories would be a fun idea to do. Because there's definitely got to be incursions between the humans and the wolves. Some skirmishes, some wars. So yeah, definitely want something like that.
You know, it gives us something very unique as well, I think, especially if the combat styles are quite unique for them. As you said before, mana crystals, limiting what they can use.
Mm-hmm.
They would give a bit of uniqueness as well to them, really. And it'll be really truly down to how good the player is at that point to either abuse what he knows or abuse what she knows about that race to take the advantage in the field, really.
Mm-hmm.
And with that there on the follow-up, will there be unique faction-based armor, or is it just going to be like generic styles? Like, so, as we've seen with the Templars, they're quite favourable plate armor, where Hedron are more cloth, leather. You see the odd one with a bit of chainmail, and the Bastions are the same, where it really depends on if you're East or West Bastion, really.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be different styles. Like definitely like Basseton guard armor would definitely be like a distinct one for that style. The Templar armor. I guess technically the Human Kingdom and the Templar would be different groups.
Yeah.
So you would have the Kingdom, and then you would have the Templar, which we're treating as a kind of as a separate faction that'd be under there. So you could not only be part of like the Kingdom, but you can join the Templar and try to rank up there. You can join like say the Merchants Guild and try to rank up as a merchant there. So we're planning a few different things like that.
Okay.
And each of those would probably have some special equipment related to it.
Good to hear. So a bit of a breather for everyone, a bit of breather for ourselves. So since we're all a bit of delinquents online, as we all know of the mighty websites, especially we all know what some of Tom's very favourite artworks, and with the advent of games of like Cyberpunk and all, will there be a touch of Rule 34 abuse? That is the question. Like, would you just go that far in character creation, or do you think would it be a bit too far in regards to how communities accept things?
See, I wish the ESRB had like a 16 plus rating, because I think that's about where the game's rating should be. Because I don't think it should be like 18 plus only.
Yeah.
But I think so. I guess we're kind of going for that teen rating. But I don't know. I mean, with Cyberpunk, you have the whole customization.
Yeah.
So for us, I don't know. It might just be like a size slider.
The size slider. Admittedly, I thought I had to ask that one as a bit of a gag. I thought it would break the session up a wee bit and get a good giggle out of everyone.
It's like I don't know. I guess. Yeah, sure. Kinda, no, but yes, but no.
Or you could do what other games do. They've got the wee text box, add gore, take gore off, that type of thing.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have those kind of settings. Like we already have. So you know, in the comic, that Cajun essentially go around nude, but they're covered in fur, so it's not like it shows anything. But that's kind of. But when you're talking about like in any other context, it's like, why is that character naked? So we actually have like a censor Cajun button, so that if you have that checked, it'll keep at least the underclothes on them if they're not wearing anything else. So we have we have some of that already, and we'll probably have more sections as we add like blood and gore, depending on what we do with the combat.
Yeah, no, I thought that would be a good comedic break for everyone, really. So, with the expansion, as you know, of the map of making by Tom, he's giving out slowly more and more detailed maps of the region.
Mm-hmm.
Will we see an ability like to sail between the islands, so, or will it just be like a fast travel? So, will we be able to actually sail between the Bastion Isles and human territory, or the wee islands around, using a wee sailboat, or
So
like?
yeah, I want boats. I want sailing. The issue is since that's a bit of a travel distance, we gotta make sure that it's not just literally traveling on a boat, and we don't want it boring.
Yeah.
So I actually play a little bit of Sea of Thieves, so it's like, okay, how do they make the sailing interesting? Is it just because they have a bunch of islands in between, so you don't actually sail very often? Is it the random encounters? So yeah, Sea of Thieves is like a nice, like, oh, they do that. That is the game. So how do they make it entertaining?
No, I thought that would be a good one to ask, as it would add a lot more freedom to it as well, being able, especially as a merchant, if you're able to get good reputation quite quickly with the Bastions. Because I'm sure everyone would be after some Bastion plate armor quite early in the game if they could get it, as I like the look of it personally as well.
Mm-hmm.
But within like the land itself, would you? I know there is the talk of teleportation within the lore and all that type of stuff with the Templars' magic. Would you consider doing that as a fast travel option between cities, or would you rather stick to like what you see in Breath of the Wild as traveling via horse, carriage, that type of thing, to get the more immersive experience of it?
So right now we're planning transportation by horse or carriage, mainly to facilitate the movement of like goods, because we want a robust player economy, and we want like kind of like sub economies per town. So if one town needs daggers, uh, a merchant can transport those daggers to the next town and make some money that way. So we want those regional things. And the issue with too much fast travel with teleportation is if you can move large amounts of items that way, um, it's just then we won't have those sub economies per town. It's just gonna be one big world economy.
So it's gonna be
But also we need, with fast travel, it's all about it's about convenience. So once we do more and more fast travel, we'll maybe it has a fee. It has a monetary fee to travel each time. It's all about a balancing act, like how we want to do it. So I want to limit how much you can like teleport around.
Yeah.
But there is teleporting in the lore, so it's like, okay, you can teleport, but you can't carry too much. Compared to if you're a merchant, you might have like a horse or carriage that's carrying a bunch of items that you would have to physically transport at some point.
essentially.
And there's the home ownership. You probably want like a waypoint fast travel that like return a way to return home quickly. So it's like trying to figure out the right balance for that.
It's a bit. So you're trying to be a bit, take a bit of inspiration from like EVE Online, like a pure player-run economy, really, between Ida, Amar, I can't remember the other two. They'll come back to me. I should really know this. I've been playing EVE since 2013. I really should know this off by heart, but there's too many universes in EVE, too many systems, far too many. So essentially it'll be completely player run, so a player essentially could crash the economy if they really wanted to. Hopefully no one's that cruel.
It'll happen, of course.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, trying to figure out like, okay, where's the exploits? Gotta fix some item duplication bugs, yeah, stuff like that.
So there'll always be someone that will try it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So with the idea, as you were saying earlier on, about the Bastions like gaining access to it via like a wee quest line, trying to build a reputation up for it. So as a Bastion, would you be open to the idea of having like two quest lines for the Bastions, like starting out as like with Keith banished, and the idea behind their main story, like in all MMOs, is return to their homeland. So via some sort of impossible well, they say impossible, but obviously it's going to be very plausible to do. Or starting off as, say, a Bastion soldier, like all the Bastions are, where you reach a certain rank which allows you to travel outside your territory. Would you be open to the idea of having that bit of lore to them to create more of a more immersive experience as a Bastion?
I would love to do that, but we don't. But we would also need like a real narrative person to handle that for us. So right now the plan is just Bastions start on their island.
Yeah.
And at some point you can travel over.
It'll be one of them long-term goals, essentially, way down the line. But no, I thought that would be good. I generally thought I'd pitch that to you as well while I was here.
No, it would be a lot of fun. It's just like we only have so much time to get it started. So for now, it's just like, or maybe so right now the plan is to have humans start somewhere in the human territory, Cajuns start either on the wolf side or the tiger cat side, and then Bastion start on their home island. But we might change that as we're getting closer to being done. Maybe just to start all new players in the same area, because right now we do have the tutorial island. Oh, you know what? I'm solving the problem myself. So we have the tutorial island area. That's our testing area right now, and I'm guessing maybe at the end we give the players a choice whether they want to start in their usual home starting points, or say if they're a Bastion and they want to play with one of their friends that's playing as a human, if they want to start in the human area instead. So maybe we'll just give them a choice to like have their starting pick, and then just some of the early storyline that they do based on where they start and who they are. So actually, you just gave me some ideas. I gotta figure out how to give that decision.
That worked out well then.
Let me write it down.
There we go. Never thought I'd say this here. I believe I sorted something.
Just gotta write it down. I'll make a note on my computer. That's not the right notebook. Yeah, there's like random things. It's like, oh yeah, we could do that.
But don't worry, I've got my airsoft MG42s literally sitting on the floor beside me at the minute, waiting to be cleaned. For my first game on Saturday, so don't worry, I know the feeling. There we go. So, while Judah is jotting this idea down, if anyone is interested, TwoKinds Online is available on, let's show it here, available on the Steam page. So to get access to it, you click on you create a wee account on TwoKinds Online, and you hit the wee download button here, and they will give you a wee Steam key, which will obviously let you log in and let you download it, because it is a greenlit project on Steam. And if you wish to try it, please do. Please, please, please. Graphically, it's very nice. So if you are interested, just a wee way to get onto it. As you can see, very Legend of Zelda vibe, and I love it for it. I genuinely love it. I just love the look of the grass. I really do.
Okay.
I thought I would do that. I thought I'd get away with doing something like that there quickly.
Thank you. Yeah, give me time to like, oh yeah, gotta jot this down. Okay, I'm back.
There we go. So, with that idea of the immersiveness, and as you said earlier on, with the instances such as Ever Summer and all, I was thinking possibly along the lines of investigations, really. And the reason I say investigations, so say for example, you're part of the Templar, as faction for example. This is before, as you said, maybe it's set before Trace actually joins. Your Templar unit is sent to investigate what actually happened in that city. So the idea behind that would be looking into actually why the attack started, and just building up, as you said, a bit more creative freedom on the lore behind the situation, as like we see in the Old Republic MMORPG. before anyone says, I don't mean Star Wars the 2005, 2006 one. I mean the BioWare, I believe it's made.
Yeah, the Knights of the Old Republic one, the older RPG. Yeah.
So, would you be interested? Would you be open to the idea of like trying to do like a more once say inquisitive, like a more inquisitive style quest line as well?
I'm not against it. It really depends on like how we end up writing some of the quests. But yeah, like that kind of like investigation. There's a lot of, so I don't know how much we'll possibly do. Right now we have more of the normal quests, like go kill 10 rats, go make this. But I want some of the quests to kind of be more dynamic on how you like join them.
Yeah.
Like, well, one of the examples I think of is like you find a lost item in the forest and you gotta find who the owner is of it. So being able to like track down with an NPC that like dropped it, or so that's kind of like starting in the middle of a quest versus starting at the beginning, like talking to an NPC that mentions that they lost an item.
A bit like the Golden Claw from Skyrim. A bit like
yeah, something like you. So maybe like so doing like an investigation with like some of the pieces are kind of like unknown. Sounds really interesting to me. But it's like how are we gonna set it up? Yeah.
I thought you might like that style of idea. So, what type of core mechanics are you hoping to have implemented by the initial beta release of the game? I think it was 2022, if I read in the timeline correctly.
It's always been shifting.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully by next year. So we have core mechanics. So I'm currently working on the combat right now to make it better. We gotta add bows and then some of the basic magics. So that definitely has got to be done. We have a lot of the crafting system done, but we still need to add stuff like fishing, cooking, some carpentry, so you can start building home stuff. The home ownership and the home building mechanics. So you can own your own home and kind of build it up, kind of like Rust style, or now like Valheim style, I guess. I haven't played Valheim yet, but I've been meaning to.
I'm in the same boat. Don't worry. Everyone's been telling me to stream it, but
I hear a lot of great things about it. It's just I haven't had the time to dive into it. So like the building, the player economy. So we already have part of the bank. We kind of wanted to do like some sort of like bank lending debt system.
Yes.
So like say you want so that you could go into debt to buy a home or something. I don't know like what the feasibility of that is, so we might not add that because it's not really too core of the game, because we'll just make houses cheaper or something. Horses, some sort of way to travel faster than just flying on foot. No flying for quite a while. We might add that later. But it's
Game
not
the dragon.
It's more befriend a dragon.
More befriend.
Old and hyper intelligent. What else was there? Oh yeah, I mean, so player economy, the different towns, being able to become mayor or governor of whatever town or area you have. So we want like a law and tax system, so that you can we can build up some like city walls. So like in the case of Edenmire in the comic right now, it has this great big stone wall. Well, in the game, it's not going to start with that. It might not start with any wall. And then as the town allocates funds, it can build up like a fountain or the statue in the square. It can build up the wall for 2 like wooden palisades to like the great stone wall it has now. And then it'll have some upkeep costs, so that if it's not upkept, the wall will degrade and break. And then you can have I don't know, maybe you can have a monster or some bandits wander in every once in a while. If you don't have the wall, if you don't keep up the wall or something.
Yeah, that would be a pretty interesting idea. So that actually would lead on to a bit of a later question. I might as well ask it now, actually. So as you said there, with the idea of having a player-run city, the player becoming the mayor, governor, senator, depends whatever you wish to name it as. I don't think there's I don't think there's a set term yet in TwoKinds. I think it was maybe mayor or something said at one point early on in the comics.
They mentioned the governor,
Governor?
back in Wreathwood, I think, right before they met Eric.
Yes, that's right, they did.
Yeah, so I think that was the person that runs the town and area. I don't think they use mirrors in the comic. It's more like the governor.
So with that there in mind, with other factions such as the Templar, as you said, would you be opposed to it, or would you say it would be a good idea to have, as players rise through the ranks, obviously, maybe as joining as a basic Templar right up to Grand Templars?
Mm-hmm.
Would you believe that instead of having an NPC Grand Templar, having a player one, and being able, so for example, if that player gets killed, say, he installs 5 of his mates as Master Templars, and they turn on him. So essentially, a bit like what Trace done, you are still one to put yourself in power. Would you agree with a bit of a system where a player could actually stage a bit of a coup d'etat within their own faction, or
I say yeah, and get them killed so that they can take their place. Yeah, I wanna work something in with like the Assassin's Guild, doing like player led assassinations, but balancing that with like the PvP. It's like, okay, at what point can they be killed? So yeah, it's trying to figure that out. But yeah, I want a player to be able to take over like the role of the Grand Templar, with like some of the things that they have to do for the guild, and then and then they can be dethroned if needed.
you know, I thought it'd give a whole new dynamic to the game, being able to, or even if it's your best friend, just arse them.
Yeah.
Like, just arse them. Yeah.
How much do you trust your friends? Although if they do that, then there's going to be a lot of turnover for the Grand Templar.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite interesting. But you think as well, as we've seen with Trace in, can't remember what chapter it is, he has actually, as a Grand Templar, he was powerful enough to actually create its own dragon, essentially, out of black magic. Would you be opposed to the idea of maybe once you reach that title, of having a unique ability assigned to you? Like, they just to give you that wee bit of
cool. Yeah.
incentive to try and get to that title. Just like if you were the governor of the city, obviously you could embezzle some taxes for your own pocket, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have your own pay. Yeah, yeah, I wanna have some perks for like holding the title. Like, yeah, some ultimate magic that you can do while you're the Grand Templar. That'd be pretty cool.
I thought as well as it might actually bring a bit of balance as well, as you said about PvP for the Assassins Guild, because if they're able to use it there, the player would have to spend some serious amount of cash to obviously make it worthwhile for them to take that high risk target, compared to like the Master Strategist or the Master Merchant, that type of thing, where they might be very strong economically minded or very strong thinking about strategy, but when it comes to actual combat, they might severely be lacking in it compared to other Templars.
Yeah, so like the Grand Templar would have an ultimate damage spell, and then an ultimate support spell, so that they can buff up anyone that's near them. So it kind of gives that balance of like, support me, I support you.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see. Like, it just gives that.
There's all sorts of balance that needs to be done for that.
It gives it that dynamic as well, that if you target the leaders, you're essentially cutting the head of the snake, which means it's essentially like in real combat, really. You kill the leaders, the people fall around them. So it gives you that sense of, oh shit, we actually need to play this. We have to take every fight seriously. On to the next one. Is there any secondary mechanics that you're hoping for, like tertiary mechanics that you think would be nice for it, or they're just hopes in the game?
You mean like other mechanics in the game that we're trying to do?
Like,
I mean the whole crafting system. It's like everything is some sort of like, it's not just press and hold a button or X amount of time to craft. You have to do some sort of little mini game in order to
Yeah.
craft. So making all those fun is definitely definitely something that we're working on.
Brilliant. That's actually, it reminds me a bit of Aeon out there, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And onto the couple of the final questions. Yeah, I'm sure you're glad. With these are the more, please be warned everyone, these will be a bit more sensitive to the lore. As we know, other games have punishment systems in all aspects, like Star Citizen, EVE Online with the crime stats. In TwoKinds, we have both jail, indentured servitude, all different types of punishments for committing crimes in different lands. So for example, if you're a human and you commit a crime in a human land, potentially spend time in jail, or you have to pay a hefty fine. Or if you're a human and commit crime in a Kedron territory, maybe mine work as an indentured serf, like we have in Star Citizen, where if you attack UAEC shipping, they essentially make you work the mines for your freedom. It's horrendous, the mines, and that the rocks actually explode in your face if you're not careful, killing you, and you get extended sentences for it. But with that there, would you say it'd be a good idea to do it, as it keeps with the lore as well as truly as possible, and also brings in a punishment system to deter people from actually committing crimes to an extent? Well, it won't deter everyone, as obviously you'll have to have some sort of banditry as an option for players to go down, or some sort of bad route, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we want some sort of jail system. We're trying to figure out, like, okay, so the comic does cover slavery. But it's like, how much of that do we actually want to cover in the game? We don't really want players to be like participants owning like some of the other races. It's just like, that just feels kind of wrong. Yeah. But tying it to like the punishment system, the like with the indentured servitude, working the mines or working the fields, like, okay, we can kind of marry that in. I also wanted to do some like when we do like the war skirmishes, capturing other characters, and that could kind of tie into that system. So it's like a delicate balance of like, how do we want to handle this for the jailing for punishment for crimes versus like having your character captured. Do we want to make it so that if your character gets captured, you can roll a new one and you can actually save your character at some point?
Yeah.
Like, how do we want to handle that?
Funny enough, I was actually about to say something like that there as well. I was going to say, for example, if you are in indentured servitude working the fields or the mines, a keep, or if you are in jail, your friends have a chance to break you out, and if it's successful, the only thing, like, there would be consequences, obviously, be marked as bandits or rogues. Would you like the idea of that there? Like, if you get marked as a bandit, maybe like major cities you'd have very limited access to because you'd be well known there, but more cities aren't like the boonies, where obviously information travels slowly. You may be more welcoming until you potentially either find a way to pay off your fine or pay someone off the wipe it really clean.
Yeah, I think so. So I wanted to do some sort of banditry system, and then some other like identity concealment system. So say you are abandoned, but you need to go in town. Like say you have a bounty on you, you're wanted, but you need to go into town for something. You can if you put on like a face covering or a hood or whatever, it takes longer for characters to identify you.
Yeah.
So like for like other players, your name won't even pop up clearly for a while. But the longer you're around someone, or for at least this. So if a player meets another player and they're concealed, it'll take a little bit of time for their name to finally pop up. So, but if you're like just walking into town, you're not hanging around the guards for a while, you do your thing, you could go out, you could still do some things in town. But say you're wanted and you just stroll into town, you'll get attacked by the guards pretty much immediately.
I thought it'd be a good wee mechanic to speak about as well on that wee one, because it's quite an interesting one as well. On to the next one. You mentioned about a player-run trading system. I'm sorry, I'm keeping you for ages as well. My apologies.
It's good. I got a little bit more time, yeah.
Yep. With the trading system that you mentioned, there obviously would be going to be hunting, farming. Would you see a potential in the future for hiring NPCs to assist in farming, gathering for like a fee? So, depending on the situation as well and how close to the lore and age rating of the game, would you say like hiring NPCs based on their level? So, like so if you fight for a castle, obviously it's going to be either Kedron or human. Would you be interested in an idea as well for like so there'll be different levels obviously of what you could hire. So someone like an indentured serf, cheap, but per return. A citizen, moderate cost for an average return with the potential for a decent yield, like maybe a 10% chance that they'll bring back something really good, or lower obviously depending on balances of the economy. Or if you spend quite a bit, maybe hiring a professional, a scholar, a specialist, obviously at a very high cost with a good chance of returning with a specialist yield. Essentially creating a bit of an economic reason for the PvP. So if you capture that there castle, they might like the citizenry might drive down the price of being able to hire NPCs.
Yeah, so I think in the case of like capturing a castle, I think that'll tie into like who's running the castle, how are they, what's their money funds look like, and like we can pay the citizens pretty well to handle like the crop gathering or some basic crafts and basic goods. Like the merchant shop will have some of the basic goods because we're paying X amount to procure that automatically. So that's kind of like the automated system for the world underneath, and then the players will be making or transporting goods between the different places depending on what's needed. So like for farmers, like you want people to just gather crops as you go. Well, the NPCs work with some really basic tools to start with, and maybe you can pay to get them all upgraded.
To be fair, I actually stole the idea from Stellaris, to be fair.
Uh,
Admittingly.
I gotta play Stellaris. It's just not. I don't have time for it. It's so long. It's a big game.
It is quite a big game. And with that, on to the final big question.
Yes.
This is going to be a tough one. Obviously, loads of MMOs have premium features nowadays to support the game development and continuing on. Especially if you look like Arcade, Aeon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm showing my age now, actually, I really am. Especially going back to LTRO. Will there be an aspect where, obviously, will there be like a premium shop where, for example, a premium subscription to get X amount of in-game premium currency for a certain item, even like in Phantasy Star, where it gives you certain access to certain things?
Yes. So we are currently planning. The game will be free to play. So if you really want to play it and have no money, you can just play it. We are going to do like a premium some premium subscription. Right now, that gets you some extra character slots, more bank space. Right now, you'll once we're implemented technically, but base players can only own one property in the game.
Yeah.
I believe that's shared for your whole account. So if you have two characters, you still only get one property. If you have a premium sub, that gets you a second property. So you'll be able to own something like, say, in the city, and then you'll be able to own something else that's just a residential thing. So we don't want to limit what you can do in the game if you're just playing for free. But there has to be some limits, and that's what the paying sub players get a bit more perks.
That was very well answered, actually. Of course.
And then, yeah, and then so we're hoping that will keep the game servers paid, and we can keep doing more development. And then we'll probably have some sort of premium shop, some sort of paid shop that will handle some. So the game's all about, like, or MMOs are all about your style, how you look, right? Fashion is very important in them. But so the microtransactions premium shop will probably just be some cosmetic stuff that we'll throw in. Nothing that, like, no paid power, I think.
Yeah, no game breaking equipment for money, so it'll just be
No.
cosmetic and.
No.
To be fair, you answered that very well. To be honest with you, you really did. I left the most difficult one to the end.
Yeah, it's easy. The game costs money to run, so we have to have some way to bring money in. Just how it is. We just don't want it to feel icky. We want it to feel very reasonable.
Very well done. That was very well answered. Is at the end here, is there anything you wish to say to everyone? Like, if you want to hopefully try and bring people into supporting it more?
Yeah, we're gonna keep developing it. It's going along great. If you want to support us, please wishlist us on Steam. That helps us with the algorithm gods. All praise the Steam algorithm. We do have some founder packs available, so if anyone wants to throw some money at us, that is on our website at www.twokinds.online. So
link will also be in the video description as well for both the Steam page and online.
You could follow us on Discord, or join us on Discord also. Our Discord is discord.gg/cookiedragon. So it's really, really simple to remember. And I'm not even looking at anything. This is just all off the top of my head.
Oh, mate, our Discord is like all random letters and numbers.
Yeah, we've got a verified Discord. So we've been verified for a while. So we've had that nice URL for a long time now.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Discord doesn't trust us enough to verify it. It's a very nice mixing pot between a Northern Irishman, an Englishman, a Canadian, and a Singaporean. They probably wouldn't trust us as far as we could throw us.
Well, if you get enough of the the server boost, you can have your own little vanity URL that way. But cool. we were verified before that whole system was in place. So, and we used to get more perks. Like, we used to get the little server picture up in the top corner that used to be part of that, but then they added all the community features in another way, so now we don't have that anymore. I don't know, they've shifted a lot of the perks around, but we still have the vanity URL, so that's great. That's
very true. Just out of curiosity, do you roughly know how many active players you have on the game at the minute? Or just out of curiosity?
No idea. So our player population is low any given minute, but we're getting, I don't know what our MAUs are, the monthly active users. They've been rising steadily. They're at I want to say a few hundred at the moment. So we have people pop in every day to check on things. It's just since the game is just limited content. I would say that our current content goes to maybe max level 5. With like the whole tutorial area might be up to level 10. So right now, I'd say that's about an hour or two of content if you're hunting for everything.
Yeah. So it's good to hear though it's on the growth though. It really is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're going up. Since putting the store page up on Steam, we've been seeing more people checking it out. Yeah. So it's been going good.
Glad to hear. I'm genuinely glad to hear it.
Hoping to bring in more and more people.
Fingers crossed.
And giving people more and more to do.
Also, if anyone, as well as anyone here, please check out TwoKinds online and please read the comic as well. I beg of you.
Please read the comic. The comic is great.
It really is.
This game is a labor of love for the comic.
If anyone
So-
does love the comic, please consider supporting Cookie Dragon Games in this year. I can't say how much of a dream it was to come true when I saw this online.
Sub to Tom on Patreon. Patreon.com/TwoKinds if you like the comic.
Oh yes, 100%. Please support Cookie Dragons and Tom, 100%. And hopefully we will get to keep an eye on it and keep the development going as well, and hopefully I'll get to pester you more as well for content.
Yeah,
and
I'm hoping in a month we're gonna have some good combat and some archery, and then we'll be working on like magic spells or something. So we're gonna have the fireball, something about like fire rain, gotta rain down fire, lightning, yeah. So we're working on some fun stuff.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm genuinely glad to hear it. So hopefully next few months we'll have another big update for everyone, and I shall be able to pester you as well for
Sure.
some of your time. I can't thank you enough as well for taking your time to pop on with me. I know it was completely out of the blue that.
Hey, it works for me. It's been great. Yeah.
And hopefully my questions haven't been too difficult. And hopefully everyone enjoyed the questions. Admittingly, it took me about 2 days to try and figure out what types of questions they asked and poking my friends like, do you think it'd be cool to ask about getting an MMO or... hopefully, fingers crossed everything will work out, and I would love for my community as well to please support them. Everyone in my Discord, I will poke them as well. If you want to as well, you can put out a wee thing. Like, if you are looking for someone, you're more welcome to give a shout out if you want want anyone. Well, like a bit of I'm trying to think, like a recruitment if you do wish to. If you want.
I got it at some point, but I gotta organize some of the requirements for like what to do, how to do stuff. Yeah. Probably some 3D modelers would be pretty handy.
Sure, if you do, let me know and I'll ping my Discord as well. I'm sure there's someone in the woodworks that knows something. To be fair, I'm pretty, like 90% of my Discord is all furries. We're all...
Oh, perfect.
We're all degenerates, don't worry.
Oh no.
We literally have a room called the Kaiju Pit. Can you guess what that is for?
No, I'm drawing a blank, sorry. I'm actually I'm way more I don't know where I'm going. I'm way more ignorant about some things than I kind of let on. So it's like, wait, what do you mean?
No. Admittingly, I was opposed to the Kaiju Pit at the start, but it was put it this way: if it's on E621, it's in the Kaiju Pit.
Oh.
Put it that way.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Was like, wait.
That wasn't my brainchild. Like, it was one of the other streamers. I just came online. I was like, I just seen this new room. I'm like, should I click it, or what should I do? I was like, I just clicked it. And I was like, right, okay. What happened last night? What did I miss?
Oh man. Yeah, and let's just go. Oh. I haven't not played Cyberpunk 2077 yet, but I hear a lot about it. It's like, oh, and then there's the bug where your clothes just don't load, so you're just naked anyways.
Yeah,
so
nothing wrong with a bit of streaking. They do it all the time in football.
Oh man, yeah. So it's like okay, this is a mainstream game that did that. I guess we'll add a bulge slider at some point.
Yeah,
I don't know. But our character modeler was like, I don't think he wanted to at the time, so it's kind of like he didn't give me that control over it. So
he's a bit more conservative.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. I think we're just both immature, and we're like, no, you.
Hear me, it's the best way to be. It means you enjoy what you do.
Oh yeah, we do, definitely.
And with that there, everyone, I would like to thank Judah for joining me on this day. I can't thank him enough. I really can't. been a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully I'll be able to bring you on for more Q&As and TwoKinds Online, especially as the game develops.
Yeah, this has been great. Yeah, we gotta get more development done. Get some more content out for the players, more systems completed, some economy balancing, some bugs fixed. Yeah, we're trying to build up the community. So yeah, it's been great.
So thank you very much again for it, my friend. It was a dream come true when I saw this here. I was like, I had the poke gift. I genuinely did. I was like, should I email? I was like, should I email or should I just poke on Discord? I was like, I seen Discord.
Discord is probably best. Email would have worked too. I regularly check my emails. It's just I've been getting some spam lately for stuff, so it's like, is this a real email? Is this not?
Yeah, see, I've got a bad habit. I'll email someone, then I'll come back a month later. I'm like, oh shit, they got back to me. Whoops.
Yeah.
I've got a bad habit of that. A very bad habit. Not the first time I've lost out on a free game because of it.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're a streamer, YouTuber.
I've lost out a few free games because of it. But most people are forgiving when I explain. I'm like, I'm sorry. It went through the back of the mind.
Yeah.
Or
No,
maybe
I mean, it happens.
Maybe it's just a Northern Irish charm. Maybe I speak to the point they can't understand me. They're just like, here.
No, I mean, you're understandable.
I'm glad to hear it. You're the first to say that.
I'm used to all sorts of accents, so it's like I could barely communicate, anyways.
Don't worry. See, I'm an open book. I pull everything out of everyone. Oh goodness. And with that, there, everyone, it's time for us to sign off. As this is holy good goodness. This has gone on for an hour and 15 minutes. Holy goodness, that went by fast. That really did. I didn't expect the Q&A to go by that fast. With that, there, everyone, especially to anyone who's stuck around this long and ended up reading TwoKinds because of it, thank you very much. Thank you very much as well, Judah. And if you haven't already, please wishlist TwoKinds online on the Steam store. Link will be in the description, and check out their website. Link will also be in the description, where you can check out their Discord, support them on Is it Patreon you use, or is it Founder Packs just?
It's just Founder Packs, so that would be on our website, yeah.
So you can support them via the website, via their Founder Packs, and please check out TwoKinds, for the love of goodness, please check it out.
Yes, and if you love the comic, if you stopped the video and read the comic through and came back, please go check out TwoKinds on Patreon, because Tom makes a lot of art there.
Also check out the fan art on Deviant. Some of the fan art is outstanding as well.
Yeah, some of the fan art. You don't have to look at all the fan art.
Some keyword there.
Oh. A lot of it is great.
Yeah, 100%. Anyways, everyone, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much as well, Judah, for joining us today. And I'll hopefully see you again over the next few months for another TwoKinds Online update video. And hopefully it'll become a standard thing on the channel. Thanks again, everyone, and that's us signing off.